Welcome to World Masters, and today we're looking at the wonders of the world. The Roman Colosseum, Rome. Built between 70 AD and 80 AD, it wasn't used for some 500 years. It was the largest amphitheater ever built at the time, and held 50,000 to 80,000 spectators, who gathered to watch the gladiatorial combats, as well as other public spectacles, including battle reenactment, wild animal fight, and executions. Earthquakes and stone robbers have left the Colosseum in a state of ruin, but portions of the structure remained open to tourists. After 4 centuries of active use, the magnificent arena fell into neglect, and up until the 18th century, it was used as a source of building materials. Though 2/3 of the original Colosseum has been destroyed over time, the amphitheater remains a popular tourist destination, as well as an iconic symbol of Rome in its long, greatest history. And its design still influences the construction of modern-day amphitheaters, 2,000 years later. Christ the Redeemer statue is an Art Deco statue of Jesus Christ in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, created by Brazilian civil engineer named Heitor da Silva Costa and his co-workers. This giant statue was constructed between 1920 and 1930. The statue was measured as 40 meters, or 128 feet high, excluding its 8-meter pedestal. The arms stretched 29 meters, or 97 feet wide. This reinforced concrete and soapstone statue cost approximately $250,000. To build the statue has become an easily recognized icon for Rio and Brazil. The statue weighs 637 metric tons, and is located at the peak of the 710-meter, or 2,400 feet high, Corcovado Mountain, in the Tijuca Forest National Park, overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro. A symbol of Christianity across the world, the statue has also become a cultural icon of both Rio de Janeiro and Brazil, and is listed as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Taj Mahal, Agra, India, and an immense mausoleum of white marble, built in Agra between 1631 and 1648, by order of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, in memory of his favorite wife Mumtaz. The Taj Mahal is the jewel of Muslim art in India and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the world's heritage. The white marble structure represents a number of architectural styles, including Persian, Islamic, Turkish, and Indian. The Taj Mahal also encompasses formal gardens of raised pathways, sunken flower beds, and a linear reflecting pool. The heart of this palace-like structure is the Taj Mahal tomb, which contains 2 exquisite cenotaphs, representing the occupants of the tomb, Shah Jahan and his wife Mumtaz Mahal. The Taj Mahal is an everyday sight for the 1.2 million people who live in modern Agra. It sits on the southern bank of the Yamuna River, a tributary of the sacred Ganges. The opulent domed mausoleum, which stands in formal walled gardens, is generally regarded as the finest example of Mughal art and architecture. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French people, commemorating the alliance of France and the United States during the American Revolution. Yet, it represented much more to those individuals who proposed the gift. A photograph of Edward de Laboulaye, from the Galerie Contemporaine collection. Statue located on Liberty Island, in New York Harbor, the statue commemorates the friendship between the United States and France that began during the American Revolution. In the year 1885, Bartholdi completed the statue, which was disassembled, packed in more than 200 crates, and shipped to New York, arriving that June aboard the French frigate Giza. Over the next 4 months, workers reassembled the statue and mounted it on the pedestal. Its height reached 305 feet, or 93 meters, including the pedestal. On October 28, 1886, President Grover Cleveland officially dedicated the Statue of Liberty in front of thousands of spectators. The Statue of Liberty's torch lights the way to freedom, showing us the path to liberty. Even the statue's official name represents her most important symbol, liberty enlightening the world. Petra, Jordan. Petra is a famous archaeological site in Jordan's southwestern desert. The spectacular sandstone city of Petra was built in the 3rd century BC by the Nabateans, who carved palaces, temples, tombs, storerooms from the soft stone cliffs, earning its nickname, the Rose City. Perhaps its most famous structure is a 45 meters high Greek-style facade called Al-Qatsne. Petra is sometimes called the Lost City. In spite of its being such an important city in antiquity after the 14th century AD, Petra was completely lost to the Western world. Why is Petra so special? Famous for its rock-cut architecture and water conduit system, Petra is also called the Rose City because of the color of the stone from which it is carved. It has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. Petra is a symbol of Jordan, also Jordan's most visited tourist attraction. How safe is it to visit Petra? Petra and Jordan are safe and stable places to visit. Likely the biggest threat you'll encounter at Petra is dehydration from not drinking enough water. Remember, you're in the desert, bring plenty of bottled water to last you a day, or stock up in shops on site. Great Wall of China, built between the 5th century BC and the 16th century, by the Ming Dynasty. The Great Wall of China is a stone and earth fortification, created to protect the borders of the Chinese Empire, from invading countries from Central Asia. And the length was measured astonishingly over 3,700 miles. This is the wall, often referred to when we talk about the Great Wall. The Ming Dynasty spent 200 years to build their wall, making it the world's longest man-made structure. Apart from defense, other purposes of the Great Wall have included border protection, allowing the imposition of duties on many goods transported across border, regulation or encouragement of trade, and the control of immigration. The defensive characteristics of the Great Wall were enhanced by the construction of watchtowers, troop barracks, garrison stations. The fact that the path of the Great Wall also served as a transportation corridor. Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu, an Inca city of sparkling granite, precariously perched between two towering Andean peaks, is noted by scholars to have been a sacred archaeological center for the nearby Incan capital of Cusco. Built at the peak of the Inca Empire, in the man-forcing hundreds, this mountain citadel was later abandoned by the Incas. The site remained unknown except to locals until 1911. On July 24, 1911, American archaeologist Hiram Bingham gets his first look at the ruins of Machu Picchu, an ancient Inca settlement in Peru, that is now one of the world's top tourist destinations. Despite its distinction as one of the most iconic and important archaeological sites in the world, the origins of Machu Picchu remain a mystery. The Inca left no record of why they built the site, or how they used it, before it was abandoned in the early 16th century. More than 7,000 feet above sea level in the Andes Mountains, Machu Picchu is the most visited tourist destination in Peru. A symbol of the Incan Empire and built around 1450 AD, Machu Picchu was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983, and was named one of the new 7 wonders of the world. The standard Inca trail trip takes 4 days, though it's probably better to do it in 5. Travelers who want to see 2 of the greatest hits of the famous hike, but who are short on time, can opt for this truncated version, which begins at 104 kilometers of the Machu Picchu train line. Well, there are a few pyramids in Egypt. The largest pyramid was built by Pharaoh Khufu. And his pyramid, which today stands 455 feet, it is 138 meters tall, is known as the Great Pyramid, and was considered to be a wonder of the world by ancient writers. This pyramid was singled out as a sight to see It was supposedly built 2551 BC, surviving today for a momentous 4,000-year-plus lifespan. For almost 3,800 of those years, it was the tallest man-made structure on Earth until modern engineering allowed skyscrapers to exist. It is still unsure how this pyramid was built, and it's debated if slave labor was used or skilled craftsmen has recruited. Either way, totaling an average workforce of 14,000 people at a time over the course of 10 years. The ancient Egyptians who built the pyramids may have been able to move massive stone blocks across the desert by wetting the sand in front of a contraption built to pull the heavy objects. Well, finally, what's in there? The pharaoh's final resting place was usually within a subterranean burial chamber underneath the pyramid. Although the Great Pyramid has subterranean chambers, they were never completed, and Khufu's sarcophagus rests in the king's chamber, where Napoleon is said to have sojourned. Deep inside the Great Pyramid,